Good morning, everybody. Mina's going to be here. She was running to get coffee because we were quickly talking right before we went live here. So, good morning, everyone. Hey, Erica and Melissa and Janice and Greg and Rachel and Tracy and Amanda Lee. A lot of our friends are here. Heike, right? Heike. Sorry. Um, I can't remember that far back. Kylie, hello and welcome. Good morning, friends. So, what are we drinking this morning? Booze? Is it one of those Wednesdays? Jennifer down below is just cracking up. Jennifer, you should have a flask for sure when you work for us, huh? um, hey Natalie, welcome. Nancy Morgan, hi. There's one Facebook user that we can't see, this person. Do you want to, if you connect we'll have Jennifer drop in a link. So I know a lot of you are already hooked up to StreamYard and Facebook being friends, but we'll get you on there. And okay, so Janice is still drinking coffee. I think I'm on my second cup only, and I'll show you. Good morning, Ashley. Yeah, Ashley missed a mastermind call yesterday. It's our $1 million boot camp month. So every first month of each quarter within our masterminds, we have this really big month of visioning and strategic planning and 90-day planning. And then we do these small meetings. And so we missed you, but you get the replay, Ashley, and it was very good. We had our holiday huddle. So we're definitely really going in deeper on strategy about the holidays, and it's really worked through some marketing ideas together. Greg was there. So it was a pretty awesome mastermind day. I'll tell you that. Can you hear me yet?
Kind of. Hold on. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Is anyone there? Okay. You know how they say a watch pot doesn't boil? An espresso machine does not give you coffee when you're watching it either. So that's where it
It's
was.
the slowest sometimes. You're like, zzz.
Come on, please. Hurry.
Mina was also, we were talking before this, and she was like, my hair is just going to be what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, because I'm talking at the same time as I'm doing stuff, and I was like, "Oh, caught my reflection in the mirror." Do you ever like catch a reflection of yourself, and you're like, "Oh, okay, well, this is what I look like today." Okay.
It's just going to be what it is.
Oh, thank you, Diana. Diana says I look like I'm feeling better. So, yes, I am feeling a lot better. And today is my 10th. I'm out of quarantine today. I'm going to get tested just in case. And I have on the calendar cuddling with my kids. Literally,
That's built
they're like,
in.
when do we get a cuddle? We've been counting down the days. And I was like, after school, we'll do it.
Hey, Gemma from the UK. All right. I know you just sat down at your desk. Do you have your Instagram somewhat ready?
Oh, yes, I do. Somewhat.
Somewhat. Check 1, check 2, Greg says. Jamie, hello. She is definitely feeling, I mean, I told Mina, I was like, it wasn't a bad thing that she had COVID because she was.
Well, Greg, I don't know if you were paid attention to those marketing ideas that I cranked out yesterday, but
She showed up to the visioning day for our masterminds, and she's like, and I have 45 ideas for you. And I was like, we need to lock you in your room more
well,
often.
and then that was the workbook and then the slides. It was a lot. I mean, Greg can concur here because I was like, oh, okay, it looks like I'm doing the most work I've ever done, but I have COVID. But yeah, I'm definitely like overall feeling a lot better.
Yeah. And I think Megan's on day 5. So Megan, feel better.
Oh yeah, I feel better. Hey, for this is for everybody. So the thing that really helped me through feeling better was because I have seasonal allergies. I take Allegra D, or I usually take Zyrtec, but during that time I took Allegra D, which is a stimulant. This is why people get addicted to meth, let me tell you. But
It's like that this Boston breakfast.
but it's amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that helped me so much. So Tylenol and Allegra D
And
is
meth.
yeah. I mean, it literally is like what they make meth out of is the pseudoephedrine or the Sudafed. And that literally helped me feel a lot better. But only take it in the morning because you'll be very, very alert otherwise.
Dr. Mina to your rescue.
Yep. I mean, I'm married to a pharmacist.
Megan, you might need to run this by your own doctor.
No, it's just allergy medicine. It's just Allegra D. It's like Literally just allergy medicine, but it was super helpful.
Brenda says, I'm newish. I've binged every episode multiple times in 6 months. We have to come up with episodes faster for you, Brenda.
Yeah.
Come to these with us. Angie's like, I'm late. I got a call from work. And I was like, I gotta go. Love you.
I know. That's amazing. I've really gotta go.
Important things. I gotta listen to Mina talk about meth.
Yeah. Right? No,
Let's make this worth Angie's time and missing out on work.
No, I said to my husband, because I was like, wow, this stuff is good. And I was like, could I take this every day? And he's like, yeah, it's allergy medicine. I was like, I feel so alert. He's like, well, if you're going to take it, you better take it now because you're going to be up all night. In which it did have a hard time sleeping. So you got to take it early on. But let me tell you, like, it replaced like caffeine practically.
Brenda's looking at MSM. Hey, Sharonita, welcome. Brenda, if you are on the fence about MSM, we are allowing a few people in post the doors closing because they're not opening again until 2022. But let's get on to Instagram.
Yeah, let's
since
do.
we're 6 minutes late, and then we will. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. I will be. I think like I have this like lazy arm that's like disagreeing with me this morning.
Do.
Well, it is what it is. This hair, everything. This morning is gonna be. It is what it is day. Let me tell you.
Do you have an earbud?
Yeah, I have it
for that phone.
Yeah, it's in.
Okay, cool. Okay, is it twisted? Is it knotted up?
Actually, this one is not bad. It's not
If
bad.
someone made it a little doll of you, they would have to do it with the headphones to
I
knotted.
know. Oh my gosh,
Do you see
Stacey
my,
Kramer, if you are listening right now, if you ever
my Bernie up there,
yeah, I mean, because he had that little fuzz hair. So the details, let me tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna go live. You good to go?
Yep, I am.
Okay. Good morning, Instagram. It's Bosses and Breakfast Day. We are talking about, well, a lot of things. We'll update you when you start to join us live, but we're going to talk about Facebook down, Instagram down, and what happened, as well as some other fun things that we're going to talk about. So as you're starting to join us, say hello. Hey, Forage of Decor and Snorty Morty Designs. Our friends on Facebook have been listening to us try and get it together this morning for a while. So all right.
I feel like the people on Facebook get a little like prequel, like the behind the scenes, like Trevor Noah. Do you ever watch him?
Yeah.
And there's like the commercial break and stuff like that he talks and he's just so funny.
Yes.
That's us. That's us in the beginning.
We are like the Daily Show and we're really funny, according to Mina Kumosita.
Oh my gosh, today is wild. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Okay.
Yes, happy Wednesday, everybody.
All right, so we were asking everyone on Facebook what they're drinking. Our Instagram friends, you can tell. I want to just share. Hey, Jen, Jennifer, whatever your name is, I know you. All right, so I want to share with you what I just got in the mail yesterday. Okay, this is the most expensive mug I've ever ordered in my life. It came with a saucer.
Oh, okay. Nice. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's giant. And it's from the Ivy, which is like a super fancy restaurant in LA that I love to go to with my mom. And so we were there when I was in LA 2 weeks ago. And I was looking at the dishes and I was
You didn't even bring this up in the podcast episode yesterday.
Treat yourself. Because I forgot I ordered it until I got it in the mail yesterday.
Well, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yesterday we recorded a podcast episode of little things that we could do to reward ourselves, especially, during the holiday season, post the holiday season for product bosses. And we were like digging in our brains. What are like those special little things that you can do for yourself? Like a tea cup and saucer or a mug and saucer from the Ivy, which reminds you of LA.
The Ivy's on Robertson Boulevard. And like back in the day of like, the days where like Paris Hilton and Britney Spears, like where you would go in LA for celebrity sightings is you'd go to Robertson Boulevard and you would see the celebrity sitting on the patio. Like you always want a table at the patio because that's where you'd see people. Like we saw Keanu Reeves there once, or like they would call the paparazzi because that's where they would be. So it's not so paparazzo anymore, but I still love it. And it's outside and they always have fresh roses on the table and they have like all of their dishes and mugs. They actually sold out of these during COVID. And so when I was there, I was like, I want to take a little bit of home with me, and like this feels fancy to me. And so it was like I think it was like a $49 mug. It was something like that. But let me
Mhm,
tell you, they are not product bosses. Let me just tell everybody this. Their
mhm.
shipping was $21.
I
And I was
mean,
like, but you pay it. They're also the same kind of
yeah.
restaurant that if they do something wrong, they don't apologize to you about it because you're lucky
Uh-huh.
kind of to be there. So
They are product bosses because they know it's like,
demand, right?
$8 raspberries, like,
Yeah.
people will pay it because they want to pay it. In fact, they don't want cheap super cheap stuff, you know?
Yeah, they're like, "I want this," and whatever. So, obviously, it was one mug, but, and I was actually looking at Susan Gordon Pottery today because she came out with her Halloween
Her
dishes.
skull
They're
dishes.
completely sold out. I was like, "How much do I
Of
have to pay
course
this
they
girl to get her
are.
stuff?"
They're probably gonna go in the black market, like, that's how quickly things sell out that could be resold for her, you
Yeah.
know?
By the way, Disguise as Surprise said, "Ooh, Mina, your hair looks really good.
Oh, thank you.
Stuffy."
I mean, it looks better on Instagram because it's cropped. But yeah, I decided to put it up today thinking, oh, let's give it some oomph, and
Yeah.
then did it without looking and was talking to Jacqueline and caught a glimpse of my in the mirror and I was like, oh, you know,
She's like,
it's like,
"That."
oh, my hair. Well, it is what it is today. This is kind of like the going theme for today. But thank you for saying that.
It is what it is. That's how, we're all gonna have to deal with day to day sometimes. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So my first question to all of you is a lot of you probably got some emails from us because we were taking a survey on sort of those of you who didn't join Multi-Stream Machine this time, why you didn't. You've been giving us so much great feedback.
Hmm.
We've been getting emails. A lot of you have clicked on the links. We're really excited to hear, sort of why this wasn't the right time for MSM. Some people over here were saying potentially that they are still on the fence about it. And this is what I was going to say earlier. We were on a mission this year to change 1,000 businesses with Multi-Stream Machine. So that was our
Hmm.
goal, was that 1,000 businesses we would impact with
Hmm.
what they would learn through this program. And do you know how many away we are from 1,000?
Do I know?
Yeah. Do you know the number?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
Okay. Good. I just want to make sure.
I thought this
We're,
was like a, audience builder.
it
Do
will be.
you know? Do you know?
First, I need to check with you if you know,
I was
because I
like,
don't want you to be like,
"Do I
or
know?"
like, yeah, of course.
And everybody listening is like, "Is she talking to us?"
Who? We're 32 businesses away from hitting
Mhm,
1,000 businesses impacted this year by, because so much of what we saw in 2020 and how COVID really affected everyone, and then how Multi-Stream Machine has transformed so many businesses and people's lives, and then now, this year we were basically like, this is our number. We
yeah,
do this with our masterminders. We teach you guys about setting metrics and like trying to work towards a goal. And our goal is 1,000. So we have 32 more and the doors are closed. So I said to the team we said a couple days ago, we're like, if
mhm,
people miss the deadline, but they want in, let's give them a special invite link.
mhm.
Greg, good, better, best. I think it was best, right? I
Yeah,
think there was
1,000 was.
there was no other option. It was just 1,000.
Yeah, we like, how like we all love those round numbers. Like we're like, I want to hit 100,000, I want to hit 1,000,000 or whatever. Well, for us, it was like, I want to hit 1,000 impacted businesses. It felt doable, but let me tell you, it felt like a big stretch
Mhm.
too. So we kind of just landed on that number. Um, and it's more like units, instead of um, it was just a way for our team to have a target, right? So
Yeah.
that's what makes it easy is that now the target is very specific. Can you hear the
Yeah. Are you on an airplane?
no, Carlos is mowing. I forgot.
We never
Every
tell
time.
because it's the time. He comes on Wednesdays at this time of day. Yeah, so we're 32 away. So if you want to be one of those 32 that you feel like you missed it and you want in still, let us know. We want to hit our goal, as well as like it would really be difficult for us to get through this year and say like we didn't hit that goal and we were so close to it. So we're not opening the doors again technically until 2022. There's not going to be another launch, but if you want in and you want to help us hit our goal so we can help you hit your goal, come on
Yeah.
in.
I mean, the whole idea is that we can look back at these 1,000 people and be like, okay, we've helped them generate this amount of money, we've impacted their lives. It's a ripple effect that's happening. And even the people, like there's some people, even like Jen of Kedora, Marina Blythe Bobbles, they've been in since like the beta round of Multi-Stream Machine. So they've like literally been with us this whole time, and we've actually seen like an impact on their lives. Like, they show up on Wednesdays, for example, so it's just been really exciting to actually see that we can contribute to somebody's life. It's a wild thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyways, just
Mhm.
wanted to drop that out for you all. Our other goal, our other 1,000-person goal, 1,000 business goal was for the small business shopping directory. So
Was it oh yeah. Ugh. Well, we got a ways to go. It's not 32.
it's a little 32 times as few. So we had, when we were building the small business shopping directory in this summer, we were finalizing all the details with our team and the web developers and the graphic designers and all the people. It was definitely like keeping it at a number of like, well, how many people would you like to be listed in the small business shopping directory? And we were like, we'd like to get it to 1,000 in 2021.
Yep.
Um, that's a new program, a new like product in your words, right? Like it's a new thing. So
Actually,
that's
we should pin this.
pin what?
We should pin the website to I was watching an Instagram live the other day, and they would pin stuff
Yeah, I
since I'm
usually
not on the
pin.
end. Yeah, we should pin it on here so they have an so they know too, and
Okay,
have the
so
team do
team,
it
if
or
on
whatever.
Instagram, if you could be like, get listed link, that would be
Hmm.
awesome. And then over here, yes, it's shop 1 in 5 is the pledge we created. So do you all know about this? Because it's the other thing we realized this morning. I woke up like this. I'm like, I don't know if everybody actually knows what we're doing.
It's because we do talk quite a bit like behind the scenes, but like yesterday we recorded 3 podcast episodes and we talked about it quite a bit, and then we're always talking about it, but then we forget because we're talking so much if we're talking about it to all of you.
we we definitely came out of a really big time of really wanting to support all of you through the
Hmm.
holiday and that part, and then we're transitioning all of our efforts in October. We're in October, right? October,
Hmm.
November, and December into really, getting the shop 1 in 5 pledge out there, and also the small business shopping directory. And so, it's a newer thing for us. So we are actually doing a meeting later today where Mina and I are going to powwow on a marketing plan for it. But one of the things we talked about this morning was like, I don't know if we're talking about it enough. So all of
Yeah.
you that are here almost every Wednesday with us, we always tell you you're not talking about it enough. And I just, Cass just said, how can we be added to the directory? Right. So we think we're talking about it, but in fact, we may actually not be talking about it enough. Right.
Yeah.
There's people who aren't hearing the message.
Right. And we have some secret plans happening of really fun stuff to kick off the small biz shopping directory. So stay tuned, which is probably, going will help everybody know more about it too.
How many
You
people
know,
here are listed in the small business shopping directory? I see that Jamie joined, but hasn't gotten her listing up yet, but that's okay because you joined. So, how many of you are listed in the directory? So, I'm going to quickly give you a quick rundown on what it is so you actually know what the heck we're talking about.
hmm.
So, last year, during COVID, at the end of the year, because what we know is that you're all so busy in this season that there's no like, we weren't going to sell a multi-stream machine to any of you, right? Because you're like, okay, my head's spinning and I need to move on and deal with the holiday season, right? So we transitioned, the product boss transitions in Q4 to full on support of product entrepreneurs. And so last year during 2020, we were like, what do we need to do here? We need to support small businesses. And what we know is that we support small business, product-based business owners. Jennifer, could you post that on Instagram too? And then I'll pin it.
Yeah. And also because at the end of the year, for example, at the end of 2020, we saw a lot of businesses go out of business locally, worldwide, everywhere, right? But for our specific community, we saw people thriving. So we're like, oh, well, it's because we came together as a community. A lot of it was coming together as a community, encouraging each other, helping each other through the hard as well as the easy. And so we really thought, okay, how can we continue to help everybody thrive and survive. We were still in survival mode at the end of last year. And so that's when we were thinking, okay, well, the general consumer really needs a way to find small businesses, because even Jacqueline's mother-in-law, she was kind of the catalyst for all of this, where she was like, yeah, but I don't want to go into Amazon, or I don't want to go into Etsy, but I want to support a small business. She didn't actually understand that small businesses were on Amazon. She just had
And
no idea how to do any of that,
And in a year like COVID, my mother-in-law would always go to like the smaller shops. Like she'd
Yeah.
buy my daughter like clothes from the small shops in an area near where she lives because she wanted to support small businesses. But in COVID, when everything was shut down, she actually was like, I don't know how to do this. And trust me, she didn't
Yeah.
go look for the www of that store.
No, no, no,
She's like,
no,
I
no.
can't drive there. I'm stuck.
They don't even exist if I can't, like, it's just,
She
that's
couldn't
the
connect the two.
yeah, that's the problem, right? It's like people don't know how to find businesses online or offline. And it clicked for us that that's something that people want to do, because that's something that Jacqueline and I do, is we support small businesses. But how does the general person support a small business? And we're like, especially our community, right? We're like, how do we get that connection between the general consumer, let's say Jacqueline's mother-in-law, and our small businesses that are in our community? That's when we came up with the pledge. So the pledge was, your everybody's commitment to shop 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business, because we were like, we actually need them to, first of all, want to do it. And the pledge seemed very easy. 1 in 5 of purchases, like you're out in the day, you get coffee, you go shopping, you do go to a local shop or whatever. Well, one of those should be from a small business. It felt so easy, because it didn't mean that you had to like flip your lifestyle by any means. You could still go to Target, but then go to like,
The local
like
coffee
a
shop.
local boutique, but then buy your, couch pillows from, and the directory, for example. And then the pledge led to the directory, because we were like, well, how can people find people online? Because that's the thing, they automatically will think Etsy only, or if you Google it, I mean, it's impossible, you'll never come up if they Google small business candles, for example, or small business,
Yeah, but I
you
bet
know
none of you even have your thing linked as small business candles. And I bet the
yeah,
consumer doesn't even think necessarily to do that. Here's the
yeah.
other thing. Small Business Saturday was created by American Express. So
Mhm.
Small Business Saturday, the whole goal of that was like for their physical brick and mortars. So Shop Small Business Saturday, American Express took the liberty to, which is amazing, to basically create like a shopping holiday to get people from Black Friday online. Well, Black Friday used to be actually in person.
Yeah, in
So
person as well. Used to be, it probably still
like
is.
trying to think back when we sit outside Best Buy in the middle of the night for DVDs.
For DVDs. I know. No, no, no. It was more so like Blu-rays. And then then you would get like the Blu-rays would be only like $5 or
Yeah, or
something.
like I need that TV today. So Friday was like people standing outside and waiting in line for big box stores for those big deals that you would walk into the big stores and you would get it, right? And that's why they tried to shift people to small businesses on Saturday, because Friday was such a thing of everyone going to the malls and, what did I just Best Buy and things like that for that,
Like
right? So it
big
was like
box and
so then
big
they were
box
like, how do
stores.
we get people to small businesses on Saturday? And then Sundays were typically sales back in the day. I don't know if you all remember the newspaper and then like the Sunday
I
sales would
mean,
be
it's all
listed.
around.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I know. And then Sundays were traditionally a sale day. We're talking about traditional, commerce. And then they did Cyber Monday, because with the whole idea of cyber was like, okay, you guys were standing outside of Best Buy Friday, you walked to your small businesses on Saturday, you had your typical sales on Sunday. People were probably, you remember the malls when we were all at the
Mhm.
malls all the
Yeah.
time. And
They'd
then,
be open like if they started to be open at midnight, for example, instead,
oh, the
you
good
know.
old days.
Mhm.
It was so fun at some point. And then, yeah, see, Maureen's like a blast from the past, right? It's like fax machine, Maureen, remember? And then on Mondays was people were going back to work after Thanksgiving. They're sitting at their desks and they're like, but they're still in the shopping mood. So
Mhm.
they're sitting at their computers. This is when we can hit them up on the computer and have them buy online. Well, guess what?
Uh-huh.
It's all turned online now,
Yeah,
right?
now it's all online, because even Cyber Monday originally started as electronics, right? People were going on to buy electronics, and that was really what it was about. And then now it's all morphed together
God
because
only knows.
yeah, it's all morphed together, of this hybrid of online and offline, but even with consumer shopping, because now consumers are going online first. So when we started the directory, we were thinking, okay, there's this adaptation that everybody's doing. They're going onto their computer, even to buy groceries, even to buy pillows, even to buy medicine, to buy vitamins, everything under the sun, right? And they don't actually know where to go. So for us, a lot of times we go to, like if we know how to do it, we go to, I don't know, Target or something. But in this case, instead, you're going on a directory and you're getting to see all these businesses and discover them. Because otherwise, how would you discover them? Well, again, you could Google them. You could bring out I don't know, like, it's like, does a phone book still exist?
I believe those also still exist, but I get really annoyed that they're wasting paper, just like the
Yeah,
US
right.
catalogs.
Dark
Um,
Ages. It
well,
does really, like, we don't even know what exists
Well,
anymore.
what
It's all
Greg
morphed
said
together.
with Cyber Monday, he says is most people didn't have high-speed internet at home. Also, probably right. So people were
Yeah.
on their computers, like so. Here's the thing, right? So this is the whole world of if you all remember back to those days with us, which was probably only 10 years ago. But let's just go back.
2 years ago.
I said 10,
No, I think 2.
but Best Buy wasn't like people weren't hanging. Like it was several years ago when people stopped doing the whole Best Buy on a Friday.
Are you kidding me? That was literally like 2019.
Oh, well, then it feels like 10 years. I have no idea. And then they started doing sales on Thursday. Remember, like Macy's opened on Thanksgiving. People had to go work. So we're getting super in the weeds here.
Yes, okay, okay.
So
Depends
last
on your
year,
location, okay.
yeah. So last year, around actually it was in October because I was driving across the country and I'm using my this is like updating us now. I'm using my hotspot on my phone to build this
Uh-huh.
whole thing out with Mina,
Whoa, tech savvy.
like from Iowa to Idaho. No, no, no. I was going to South Dakota. We were like, okay, let's do this pledge. I think the pledge is a great idea. And then we were like, but like Mina said in the very beginning, um, when she said that we were like, how do we connect people, right? How do people, yes, we want them to take the pledge, but they're still only going to think when we say like shop 1 in 5 of your businesses from a small business, they're going to still think that what we've all been trained from the Small Business Saturday is go to your local shops,
Yeah,
which we agree with. But the pledge is to shop 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business online or offline,
yeah.
because where we see the disconnect is the online. Right? That's the part where people can't find you. And they go to Etsy, and the traditional consumer on Etsy, they're not even sometimes thinking of you as businesses. They're just thinking of you like little Etsy shops, but they're not actually
Mhm.
being like, "Oh, I'm supporting a small business." They're like,
Yeah.
"I'm supporting a person that makes things at home." I think is how they typically feel.
Mhm.
And then again, or they know I'm going to go to my local tiny toy store in the town next to me, kind of thing, if that's a choice that I'm going to make. But they don't know about your website, right? Like
Yeah.
Lodestone Candles, do they know like they maybe the people who follow Greg know that Lodestone exists, but if people are really wanting to buy gifts this season and they're saying I want to shop from a small business and they're really trying to do this, then they need a place to find you. And that's why we created the directory.
Yeah, but
So,
even if Lodestone, for example, was on Etsy, there's no way he could stand out really, right?
yeah.
So it's like in this case, when we created the directory, we have values based. So let's say it's small batch or eco or, black owned or minority owned. The consumer is able to, because usually if a consumer is conscious about taking any sort of pledge or um, they want to support small businesses, because a lot of us have that desire, we have that want to support small businesses, and a lot of times it's because we're more conscious of where our money is going, where our purchase power is going, so we understand that there's a c- a reason why we're shopping small, right? So when we go on there, it's like, oh, okay, I know that I really want to shop small. I want to support small businesses. And then I can actually discover the people behind it and discover, like, perhaps, like, for example, I could go on there and look for minority owned if that's something that is aligned with me, for example, and feel like, oh, okay, now I'm really being thoughtful with my dollar, right? So it allows the consumer, because consumers are super smart, they're super savvy, they have a huge purchasing power, and they have their phones, they have a computer in their pocket, so wherever they go they can always um, buy anything under the sun. The access is everywhere, but it's like and we're trying to train them to go to the directory to shop from small businesses, because their automatic was to go locally when they thought of shopping small.
Yeah. So we created the directory last year. It was kind of like the whole team just kind of built it and did it quickly. And it was a very low rate, but it was the idea of just like kind of paying for the team to get it up. This year we built it out with a team, an SEO team, to work on the SEO, because we are, listed quite high when you look up small business shopping directory. There we have this cool platform that we built literally from the ground up.
Mhm.
So all of you that are wanting to join the directory, it is not, some people said they thought that it was attached to multi-stream machine. Actually, none of our products are ever attached, and none of our offerings are ever attached to each other. So like if you're in the mastermind, masterminders have purchased multi-stream machines separately, right? They're not integrated. If you're in multi-stream machine, the shop 1 in 5 directory is also a totally different thing. So just so everybody knows, it's not the things aren't connected. Sticky Rice Sister said signed up. So we created the directory, and here's the thing. We launched it September 15th, where we started getting press to go out, and our press releases to set us up for the time of year when the general consumer is actually going to care about shopping and shopping small businesses. Because remember, we're still in the beginning of October right now. So, for example, tomorrow we have 6 different press things that we're doing. We're being interviewed by Forbes specifically about the small business shopping directory. We're on multiple podcasts about it. We're in talks with producers of some like major morning shows potentially to be on. We have to cross our fingers that those things happen. We've already been on things like local news stations to talk about the directory kind of thing. So what I want you all to know is we couldn't release the press about the directory until we had people listed, right?
Yeah.
So there, like the directory, if people click on different categories, it needs to have businesses in there before we can promote it. So that's why we're giving you all this founders member pricing to jump in and get in now, because this press is going to roll out. We're doing a gift guide, like a really beautiful gift guide. I have a whole list over here of celebrity contacts that we're friends with personally because my husband's an actor, as well as influencer contacts, but we're not going to reach out to all of them until we know that the directory is in a good place where when they send their followers to come
Mhm.
shop, that the directory is the place where they can shop from, right? Because if right now they go and click on pillows and nobody in there is in pillows, it's not it's not the greatest. So that's why you're getting founders member pricing. It's discounted, as well as we have a lot of you take us up on this opportunity of getting multiple listings in multiple categories. So we have a code right now. It's launch is the code. So if you sign up for 2 or more listings, you get 50% off your second, third, fourth, fifth listing kind of thing.
Mhm. And it gives you more opportunities to get discovered. So
Mhm.
that, like, imagine it, I think of it as like a visual directory. So if we want to like actually be able to wrap our minds around that, it's like imagine somebody picking up a phone book, and the phone book has like a whole bunch of text listings, right? For all of the everybody that used to get phone books, and still I think we still actually do. Well, in this case, it's like imagine being able to flip through but discover what the owner uh puts up there, right? So like different products, different there's you can have I think it's 9 photos, you can put up video, you have a bio, you can list your values. It attracts to you the right customer. So while we're pushing traffic, and I want to say this because some people are like, well, what are the sales? Are you standing out? That sort of thing. Well, the point is that we're sending a whole bunch of traffic to the directory overall as a whole, and then the right people can peruse it and are attracted to your particular listing because it fits what they are shopping for. So you as the small business owner being listed can put whatever you want. Like there's, like I said, 9 photos. Sometimes people are putting like, like Halloween stuff up there right now if it's more timely. You
Do
can
you want
put
to do you want to flip your screen and we show them?
yeah, sure.
Because there are a lot of questions coming up about like what the directory looks like. So
Uh-huh.
someone asked the pricing. It's $297 for a
Oops.
12-month
Shoot,
listing.
sorry.
We have a whole marketing workshops. There's like 5 workshops in there. There's also how to do good videos. There are opportunities for press, which I don't know how many of you out there are paying for press, but we're sending press this way. There are
Do you wanna,
Yeah,
do it while you're talking?
I guess I can talk and scroll at the same time. It's like walking and talking.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's maybe visually they can see it better,
Yep.
you know?
Okay. Share. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the shop the directory link, right? Beautiful. Shop the directory, and we are, it changes. So find something unique. We're directing people to where they can go. Their dollar goes further when they spend with small businesses. Their purchases have the ability to change lives. And we're doing different features. So this month is about breast cancer awareness. So we reached out to our community and found, breast cancer survivors or anyone that has a give back for breast cancer. And so these are features on them. We're getting people holiday ready right now and fall ready with spooky season and going from there. So I'm going to let's just click on Enchanted Botanicals and see her listing. I haven't looked at her listing yet. So you get to pick what image goes here, which is your big banner image. Plus, you get to pick an image that goes here. These are two separate images. If you have a physical location, you can list it. Someone asked about Canada. It's global. So we have a lot of Canadian companies in here. We advertise to English speaking countries. So Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, and the US. So typically that's where our ads are going to come from. But if you ship um, worldwide as well, you can let people know. So it gives a link off that people can go. If you have a phone number, it gives links to all of your social media handles. Because remember, friends, this is not a shopping platform. This is not a marketplace. We take $0 of any sales that you make. So what I want you all to realize is this is a discovery tool. This is almost like when we remember the yellow pages
Yeah, it's
or
a directory, literally a
Mhm.
directory.
It's a place that people can find you and discover you. Conversion wise, that's really going to be up to you on what this looks like, right? Do you pull people in? Do your images look the way we do support you with like what are good
Yeah,
photos?
I feel like well, she cut off her photo, so
Let's find someone else. Okay.
yeah, I feel like
Let
you
me
should
go
show maybe a masterminder.
shop all. Okay.
Um, so and I love this question from the Tray company because she's like, "What category should I be in?" Well, you would be in kids and baby. So if
No,
you,
the tray company is Lego. Yeah, it should be in
yeah,
kids. We're there. Here, let's go here. Kids and baby, and these are all the listings. So she'd be in. She could. So you would get listed as kids and baby, and
yeah,
then
okay. So I was gonna say it is, yeah. So it is kids and baby. So if anybody needs help with what category they should pick, let us know and we can help you.
so you get listed in kids and baby, for example, right? Let's go back. And then there's different categories. And when we say this is that let me just go here. So kids and baby, these are all the subcategories. So when you purchase your listing for $297, you get to pick beauty and wellness or food and drink, gifts, home decor, jewelry. But you get to tag as many of these subcategories that make sense to your business. So for example, the trade company would be, I would say tween and teen and toys and learning. Um, and kids and gears and essentials. So you could actually show up in all of these different searches for just the 297. Now let's say she decided that she wanted to be listed in kids and baby, but then she also wanted to be listed under gifts, for example. Those are technically two listings, two directory listings, but they act separately. So which means is like if this was her image here, she could have a totally different image over under gifts, for example. And the only thing that stays the same is like your name, the bio part of it, but you can kind of change things for the directory. So let's say she said she wanted to be in kids and baby, that's 297. But if she also wanted to get listed in gifts, she would get 50% off that additional listing into gifts. Does that make sense? Because
Hmm.
that's the thing right now. Okay. So yeah, she's doing it now. I'm so excited. So let's find you
She said, I
meaning
want to read this comment from her. She says, "Done. I'm doing this now for under $300. This is gold. Nobody grinds like these girls would for us." Oh, thank you. I didn't read that last part. Um, but I wanted because I saw the $300. This is gold. I I will tell you that there is nowhere that you can be listed in any sort of directory for 297 for an entire year. So like some people when they're thinking about traditional marketing like even the yellow pages, there's a marketing budget that you have every year that goes towards something. This is just a tiny part of that, you know? And so it is, thank you for saying that because I do feel like it is gold. And we put a lot of time and energy into this, and we're so excited about the press and everything that we're paying for to come to it too, but it will take all of us.
So, the question for my capture journey is at $297 per listing. Yeah, so this is a listing. So if you see
Not per
this,
item. She said, "Is it $297 per listing, like, per item?" Not per item,
right.
per
So let me show you here
per
on this.
listing category.
Let me show you here.
Yeah.
So they paid $297 to get into kids and baby, and you get this whole page, which we'll go through. Okay. You get to choose at the same price at $297 that you want to be listed under baby, accessories. Like, say you can keep picking subcategories to be listed in. If they just, so it's $297 for this beautiful page, and we'll show you all of that. If you want to be listed, let's say they wanted to be listed in kids and baby and I don't know, home or gifts again, let's just say, then that's an additional listing, but you get to change all of this. So like,
Yeah.
let's say they wanted it to be look like a gift box in this image and they wanted to be listed in gifts, they could change all of that. So and it's all you can change these at any time. So when
Mhm.
you log into your backend portal, you can constantly change this. So you can change it according to the holiday. You could put a discount code if you wanted up into your image. You can change, like, let's say you just got press and like you're like Nancy at Copper Hummingbird and BuzzFeed just featured you. You have all this ability to just update this when needed. And yes, you can list as many items, but it's not item driven. This is about your small business. So I'll show you this one, for example, Nini and Co. They're based here. This is their links. These are all the values that they've chosen. They are made in the USA, Black owned, women owned, social good, minority owned, gives back, and eco friendly. So they have a lot of values. This is a quick thing about the business. And this is a direct link off of our site. We have nothing to do with what happens when they leave and they can buy from you. Okay. So there's you don't pay us a single dollar for anything versus like if you get listed on Etsy, you pay 5% of your sales. And I just want to let you all know that if you paid, what was the number? Like some of you are probably paying over $1,000 a year just to be discovered on Etsy, for example.
Mhm.
And your link can go anywhere. So if you only have an Etsy shop, this business can take you to their Etsy shop. So here's this. Then you get to see all their beautiful images. So you get all of these images like the carousel where you can feature different products. And then there is the ability to have a video listed. I don't know if they have a video, right? So we can learn more about it. And then here's the two ladies that are the business owners, and it's more about them. Hey, mom, meet the Nini co-soother. By the way, this company is one of the fastest growing companies I know. They're in our community, and they are on track to hit $1 million in their first year. They're amazing. So, and then they also carry accessories. So, what does that mean? They are linked over to accessories. And then it takes us over to accessories, and you can discover them here under a totally different subcategory, which is included in your listing. So here are all the main categories: women, men, kids, beauty, home, jewelry, pets, food, spirituality, which is also religion, gifts, paper goods, and subscription boxes. And you can also see them listed here. And when you click on them, it gives you all of the subcategories. But here's the cool thing, right? Let's click on bath and body. Look at all these subcategories. So you basically will tag yourself as like, I bath and body, but I also sell bath bombs and scrubs and soaps. And then you really get to select it. So that's the cool thing about this whole directory and what we're seeing. I guess I can stop sharing now. Let me find
Yeah.
this.
Hey, Mika, I want to answer her question because I just came up with a brilliant idea.
Tell me.
Okay, just a second. I got to get this up here first. Okay, so Mika's question is, say you're listed in, just like Jacqueline's example, gifts and then kids and baby, two different categories, right? Is there a way to track which category people found you under so you can track each category, which category is working better? So in that case, she has two separate listings. And remember, Jacqueline said that your link can be whatever you want it to be. So what I would do as a small business owner is I would create I would create two Bitly links.
Yep.
Bitly is tracking links. It's absolutely free. And I would be like, maybe it'd be like Bitly, because they don't actually see the link, that they're clicking on. It's just a button. So it'd be like Bitly, small biz, kids baby category, or whatever the Bitly link you want to create it to be. And then I'd put that on there. And then on the other listing, it would be like Bitly gifts, small business, or whatever. And then on the Bitly side of it, which is BIT Ly, I could see, okay, so many people clicked on this one, so many people clicked on that one, because we won't be able to tell you, but you definitely should be doing that anyways for your overall business. So oftentimes people do that for Instagram. Like if they have Instagram, they're like, okay, so many people are coming from Instagram. Or if it's the link on, this is my Facebook link. And then they're like, oh, okay, this is how many people are clicking on that. We do this even for like our podcast and stuff, how many people are actually clicking on certain things, right? So that would be a workaround to this that you could be and should be doing anyways for anything that's bringing traffic into your business so you can track it.
Jennifer, let's note that as something we could actually teach within the
Yeah,
group.
and the Trey company says she has 6 Bitly pages. Yeah, perfect, right? A lot of us have a lot of them, so we can on a dashboard look at, oh, okay, looks like more of my traffic is coming from Instagram. I should push that versus, Facebook. But in this case, it's like which category, you know, is working better for you.
So yeah, so your listing is updatable at any time. So even what I would
By
suggest
you.
is if
Yeah.
by you, yeah. So you can change your images. If it's the holidays, you make things more relevant. If it's Halloween and you have Halloween products, you can even let the team know, hey, I've got Halloween. So like we can, well, we do. We ask, like we let the whole community know, like who's Halloween, who's a veteran, who's breast cancer, because we have different marketing things that we're running things to, right? So it's called Bitly, Bitly, which are shorter links. They call them like
Mhm.
pretty links, and you can actually track things through them. So
Laura, I'm wondering, you said a dollar, she says,
she spends a
at a
dollar a day on
dollar.
Etsy
Is
ads.
that required? Because I know that Etsy's pushing free shipping and they're pushing ads. Like, what are they doing right now? I'm curious. Are they pushing that you have to do some sort of ads to be featured for some sort of way? Sometimes they do that kind of stuff. She says, at a dollar a day in ads for Etsy, this shop 1 in 5 is a better deal. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You all can sign up
It's
at
less
any.
than a dollar a day. That's what we should be saying.
It is less than a dollar a day.
That's
It's
yeah.
what's 25 less than $25 a day over 30
No,
days.
it's less than $25 a month is what we've been saying, but it's
But yeah, that's what I
actually
mean.
yeah, yeah.
My calculator is attached to my phone. So if anyone wants to do the math, how many days in the year are there? 365?
365, yes.
So
So what was the
two
question?
297 divided by 365.
Okay.
We're so smart sometimes.
81 cents. Can you believe that?
81 cents a day to just be listed somewhere. So, for those of you out there that are looking to us to be the end all be all of conversion for all of you, that this is going to be the way that you make all the sales in the world, I'm going to tell you we are not a guarantee of that. Okay. So, when I say that to you all, is because the whole, what, again, I think you all trust us here with your businesses. We wouldn't have done this if we're like, this is pointless. I'll tell you my quick story, which I've told before. When I started Designer Consulting Co-op, which is my business that I started back in 2007, this is a time where I had to tell all my clients, which is I do start up fashion companies, and I had to tell all my clients, go buy your website address, go get your domain, and at least have like a coming soon page. Don't just have like the worker guy. Here, we're going back again. You remember those like coming soon pages that had like a construction worker saying like
Yeah.
coming soon? Do you
No,
remember?
it was those bar thingies, and
Yeah.
like had his
So
hard
you could
hat
buy
on.
your website like
Mhm.
theproductboss.com, but if you didn't have a page that held the page, then, people would bounce. So I was one of the first people that had to tell my clients that were starting businesses in 2007, because e-commerce wasn't huge at that point, to get a website and put a holding page. And at that point you can collect email addresses or, tell them coming soon. Right. Yes, we have teens and tweens trade company. So you would get that as a subcategory automatically. So, back in the day with websites. So the cool thing about my business is I started when not every business had a website, and I built my website for Designer Consulting Co-op, and I did one thing when I started, and it's the jankiest directory you will ever see, and I have no idea who ever used it, but I paid for a directory that was a fashion the fashion business world. It was basically this directory. And again, if you remember old school internet, like it's like really, really ugly listings, nothing pretty, more or less like the yellow pages on the internet. And I paid for that, and I paid for that yearly. And I ended up getting listing there as fashion consultant, right? I I've still never to this day had to pay a single cent on ads. Let me tell you, I get every week, I get multiple people submitting like forms to try and
Good
have a
luck to those people getting in
I'm no
contact with
longer
you.
taking new clients. But I get every week I get multiple forms from people saying they want to work with me because there's like a whole application process. And guess what? Where do they discover me? Not a single person has said the product boss. It's
Yeah.
all Google. All Google. Why is it all Google? When I used to work with my coach back in the day, she's like, I can't even believe the kind of SEO you have. She's like, people pay so much money for this. The reason I have SEO, and I know my top referring site since 2007 has been this directory. So when we came up with this idea for all of you, it wasn't even about, it was driving the traffic. It was like, it was building me up in terms of search. I was number
Yeah.
one on fashion design
But
consultant.
you weren't that from year 1. So
No.
everybody's asking us and they're, like, what's kind of like, what's the traffic, how many conversions, that sort of thing. SEO is not built in a year. I will tell you that. Like, it absolutely is not. It's a long-term strategy that's really powerful.
It takes about,
So,
I would say, 90 days to start getting traction for SEO, which is the same thing of anything that's like long term. Like you can't just go
yeah.
put a Pinterest ad up or a Pinterest post and think that Pinterest post is going to be relevant.
Yeah.
So when we did this directory, and what I'm trying to tell all of you is that I've continued my entire business to be listed in this directory. So this is like going on 15 years because I've never had to pay for ads, because what it did for me, it wasn't necessarily, I didn't get, so for example, it didn't say like when they say, how'd you find me? It doesn't say like from this directory I found you. It says from Google. Do you know how they found me on Google? Because I'm linked to that directory and it has its own traffic. It has its own links to other businesses. Because if you know anything about SEO, it's backlinks, it's links that are out and links that are linked back to you. And it's like a spider web is the thing that lifts people in terms of Google, right? So that's how my company climbed the ranks and eventually was listed as number one in certain categories, not all categories, but in certain categories. So when we came up with this and why we paid for an SEO expert was like, this is a big part of why we think it's really important to all of you in the long term. We have multiple people that have sent us um, referring sites that were like the number two or three
Mhm.
referring site from our site to theirs. But I'll tell you, like, it's going to take all of us to send traffic. Like, you let your customers know, you let your friends and family know about the Shop One and Five pledge and the Small Business Shopping Directory. And then we allow people to shop it the same way they would if we're walking the aisles at Target.
Yeah, it's a discovery tool.
Mhm.
So we only have 9 minutes left. So I want to get back to Facebook being down because this is
Does
all
anyone
we
remember when that happened?
on Monday. Facebook went down and IG went down and WhatsApp went down. And it literally was like a shake by the shoulders for everybody that it's even possible for social media platforms to go down. And then where are people going to be able to find you? Right? So for all of you that felt the sting of that on Monday because it was crazy, right? The How are people going to find you? Where are people finding you outside of Instagram, Facebook? I mean, I'm not going to say WhatsApp because nobody, that's just a communication tool. But these are visibility platforms that a lot of small businesses depend on, just like you do. But also, what other solutions do you have? So, a lot of people, they heard us in their head saying, you need to build an email list, right? An email list is something you own. So that's one of the ways, right? Was that a lot of people, our masterminders in particular, and people in our community sent out an email and they connected with their small businesses, or they connected with their customers as a small business saying, hey, sign up for or grab this deal. We had one person that was like, Sarah Cornwell Jewelry. She was a masterminder. She sent out an email saying Facebook down. She used the code FB down and she had a sale for free shipping. So she sent out an email, offered free shipping to her customers, and she got sales from it, right? So that's the email list. So my question to all of you is that how are people finding you outside of Instagram, right? So for all of you, is it your email list? Because your email list doesn't bring you visibility.
I love that. Quick Company Apparel said, I honestly am blaming you guys. You broke social media to teach us all.
The thing is, we did a podcast episode, which is so funny. And I was saying that, this is like a perfect example of like what we talked to you guys about, and nobody thought it could happen. And then it was almost like, what?
So
Social is down,
yeah, so we were really thinking through like, well, what did people do? So how many of you have an email list that you were like, okay, at least I have my email list, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
you had said to
But your
us
email
like,
list doesn't bring you visibility though,
right,
Uh-huh.
you had to push out to them. And then a bunch
Uh-huh.
of you were like, I heard your voices in my head literally all day being like, I should be building an email list. Yeah, because because your customers were also off of social media and they also didn't know what to do with themselves. And so we
Uh-huh.
had people send out emails, those converted. And we also thought, then it went back to multi-stream machine and we were like, same thing in multi-stream machine. If you're in other places, yeah, it sucks that social media is down, but you're selling to other places. You have email addresses, like maybe you're selling to boutiques, you're selling wholesale, or you're working with other people and other people's audiences. And so while it was the thing that kind of crashed, the faucet wasn't turned off. The same way in 2020 when that faucet got turned off of in-person trade shows and retail shops closing, right? So we were just like, okay, this whole thing is just an example of all your
It was
eggs in a
crazy.
basket.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Yeah.
And then as we were recording this podcast episode, we were thinking like, well, what would they do if social media went away? And so we were like email lists for like MSM totally makes sense because it's the whole idea of all your eggs in one basket. So you know that if you're not only on social, that you have other ways. A lot of you probably were like, social doesn't work for me anyway, so maybe I should be growing my email list. And then the last thing was the directory because
Yeah. I mean, they should always be growing their email list, but social doesn't work for me anyways. If social's not working for you, I know it's back up now. You need to be trying something else for visibility.
right.
So that's bottom line. If you aren't finding people and people aren't like raising their hand and you're like the star in the universe, do people even know you exist? Do people even know you exist? That's the main question of any visibility. So, what big businesses do is they spend a lot of money on brand awareness. We're talking commercials, radio ads, billboards, paid advertising like Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, all that stuff. But you, as a small business owner, what are you doing for brand awareness? What are you doing for visibility? And a lot of times people will default to social media. They'll just think that's the only thing that I can do for visibility. Well, yes, you can do that, but that should not be the only thing in your visibility plan,
Right.
right? So email is a tool just like anything else. You can push people to your email list, but email is not used for visibility because email is the connection, right? So visibility wise, how are you going to find, or how are people going to even know you exist,
And so
right?
some Jasper Go Fetch said, I worked on Google. So when you say you worked on Google, which is something we teach SEO in multi-stream machine, but when you say you worked on Google, right, that's the idea of someone going in and typing in
Mhm.
dog toys or candles or maybe it's pine scented candles or whatever the consumer is going in and searching because they're looking for something. They go to Google to search, they go to YouTube to search, they go to Pinterest to search, for example, but let's just call it the Google machine. So they go there and they type it in and they're like, okay, I need XYZ, I need a giant
Uh-huh.
mug.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so as you're trying to discover your SEO, and they said they worked on Google, that's literally the idea of SEO. Are you discoverable? Now, if you sell bras, you are not going to be able to be found on Google competing against Soma and Victoria's Secret and Macy's and all those big companies, right? And we teach this in MSM, but maybe there are other things that you're discoverable by, right? Like maybe there are other keywords you're discoverable by. So as you work on your SEO and you work on your discoverability on the normal web, the great World Wide Web. That's part of the point of the small business shopping directory is, do you know the kind of traffic that we get? Do you know the kind of, we're sending emails to 30,000 plus people, like
Mhm.
when Forbes writes about it and Forbes links their article from Forbes magazine to the Shop One and Five pledge, which will be our like second, maybe third link back. So they link to us at Shop One and Five. We link to them saying we got press here. That actually raises our directory Googleability. So when people are looking for like small business or
Mhm.
small business shopping directory,
Right, because that's part of our marketing budget too, right?
right?
Because I didn't even mention public relations, but PR, for example, is what people usually will spend their marketing budget on as
Mhm.
well. But do you, as a small business, have a marketing budget that can go to PR? You typically do not. I mean, our PR team is very expensive. And so we're utilizing that as a PR team, and you get to be a part of that because you're in the directory. So, marketing budget wise, it really is like what Jacqueline said. Not only is it SEO, but it's the PR money behind it, even the emails that we have as assets, all of it put together. You
So for
know.
81 cents a day, those of you that are listed in the breast cancer awareness for October, right? For 81 cents a day to be listed on the front page of this directory, and that we have entire pitches going out about support small businesses owned by breast cancer survivors in a month that the focus in press is around that and it matters to people, is what we're doing for you, right?
Hmm.
So, and what we're doing not for you specifically, but for the small business community as a whole. So, we invite you to get listed. It's $297 for one listing. If you have any questions, you can email. Is there a specific email for Shop One and Five for help? Let me know what that is, and I can say it. We'll give you an email address if you have any questions, but rather you can jump on. It's $297 for one listing. We have, if you use the
For
code
a 1 year
launch,
listing.
12 months, yeah. And then you'll get listed. We didn't even talk about all the things that are in there. But when you go on, not only do you get the listing for 12 months that we showed you, you get 5 marketing workshops that help you with Instagram, influencer marketing, abandoned cart email strategies, email promo marketing, and video marketing that converts. You get a private small business community, okay, which is exclusive and small business. We are giving you exclusive discounts and savings for people who join the directory from like vendors and things like that. So you're going to be able to save money there. And then you get this founders member price. So it's $297 plus multiple second, third, fourth listings are 50% off using the code launch. And if you have any questions, I think some people had questions about multiple businesses or listings, just email hello at shop1in5.com. That's hello at shop1in5.com. We want to see you in there. We want to
Mhm.
promote you. We want to create these gift guides around you. We want you all to benefit. And I want you all to think of this less of as a conversion. I want you not to think like, can I get my 297 back? But is 81 cents a day? Is 81 cents a day worth it for me to do these little tweaks of visibility, right? These little tweaks
Mhm.
of opportunity to have this community to 81 cents a day for these 5 workshops even, right? So I just really want you
Yeah.
all to move past am I getting sales from this? Because we want you to, but I want you to think about the bigger idea around all of this.
Yeah, the brand awareness, the discoverability, right? We want you to be discovered. That's what visibility is all about, discoverability.
Mhm.
Trade Company says 80 cents a day is nothing. That's less than a stick of gum. I don't know
True.
if they offer sticks of gum anymore. This
At the 99-cent store yesterday, they did.
they
And
did.
thank you. And all of you that signed up, I know a bunch of you said, okay, I'm in, I got listed. I think the trade company got listed. Jasper Go Fetch says totally over delivered. I'm blown away. I'm so excited to see you all in there. Elle is leading the charge on, she's going to be creating all these
Yeah, Elle is
amazing,
our social media manager
she's
at the
taken
Five Guys.
over Shop One and Five. And so there is no payment plan, just real quick to answer that very quickly. There's no payment plan because we are able to offer it to you as low as 297, right? That's the lowest amount because there is one other person that we know that has a directory that's actually service and product, and they're at like at least $1,000 a year to be listed on that directory, and it's application only. Okay, so
Mhm.
their application only, it's $1,000 a year. God only knows what kind of traffic they get, but I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put that out there. So we set at 297 because we wanted to make this a very easy, accessible opportunity for all of you. If we did a monthly payment plan and someone defaulted on their payment plan, it would cause so much team headache to have to go
Mhm.
pull the listing and to then have to like go try and get the money and then to then get the listing back up there. And it's just, we would not be able to keep this price low if we had to do all of this like customer service management through it. So versus you all get listed, you get to populate your own listings, you get to build those out. It's very what's it called? Self-service.
Yeah.
And then that 297, I know that that's a lot in the very beginning, but for some of you, but 81
It's
cents.
a 12-month listing, Q company apparel. I know, I think people 297, I will tell you when I had a Chamber of Commerce listing, this is like everything has been a throwback, let me tell you,
I
for
paid
this episode.
$500 for this big of an ad in a paper for a week.
For 1 week, right? Because I bet you had to buy a chunk of them.
Yeah.
But when I was in the Chamber of Commerce and had to be part of that because I actually had a local, when I did graphic design for banks and I did a lot of local stuff. So local banks, car dealerships, I did corporate graphic design. So I do annual reports, big postcard campaigns, all that stuff. Just having a listing in their Chamber of Commerce was something like $450. And no, they didn't offer me a payment plan. So, that was like in our small town of Ankeny, Iowa,
Yeah.
so
The
I know
Bookstore
it
Association of America.
seems, I feel like it's not a lot, um when you think about marketing budget, because we're thinking about like, okay, 81 cents a day here, and it really is like, in my mind, I want you all to think about like the business decisions that you're making, and that that you should be spending at least 81 cents a day on your marketing, in my mind.
I mean, if you were to give yourself a price point for each of you, like how much you would want to be paid per month, for example, like not month, what am I trying to say? What would your hourly fee be? Like if are you guys paying yourselves $15 an hour? Are you paying yourself $25 an hour? Like what would you as the business owner would want to get paid? And then think about all the wasted time you're spending on Instagram, right? You're probably
Mhm.
spending $75 at least a day on Instagram doing nothing, getting nothing.
Well,
So I just
minimum. I spent a lot of time on
mean,
Instagram.
and if you're like $1,000 an hour,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
I mean,
money.
I can't imagine if I did the math on that.
Just, but so thinking about that, and the price is a founding member's price and it's locked in for 2 years. So when you join now, and people who are saying they want to wait, here's what I just want to just quickly tell you. It is October 5th, 4th. I don't know what day it is. October something. October 6th. I'm off a day. It's
Mhm,
October 6th. We are ramping up for the holidays. Starting in the very beginning of November, it is go time. We're going to have people posting about it. We have a whole marketing thing. Are
mhm,
you going to be up and listed and have the traffic based on us doing this, right? Like are you
mhm.
ready? Are you there? Because if you want to push it off, which I know some of you might need to push it off, but here's the thing, the press is happening now. You're
Yeah,
either there or you're not
we have
there.
some secret stuff that is going to be launching everything, so we're so excited about it. I would say
Yeah.
get listed as soon as possible.
And look at all the bonuses. And then, like, again, when you're
Yeah.
like, oh, do I pay this 81 cents a day? Then I think your answer is right there. So, my friends, we have to jump off to another meeting. We're 7 minutes late.
So we didn't even talk about what we were going to talk about that much, but I'm glad that we got a chance to talk to you all about marketing your business for the holidays and the visibility that you need to be thinking about that, right? The discoverability, especially if something like even Instagram and Facebook can be shut down, right?
And I want
Then
you
where are
all
you?
to get past the conversion conversation. I really like from a referral standpoint, people who are listed that aren't even on our homepage are seeing referrals. But
Mhm.
I want us all to think of this as a long-term investment into our businesses. If you think about how I grew my business, that's why we built it this way. We could have made a marketplace and said, all right, if you want to be listed on here and sell to our people, we'd like to take 5% of your sales. Like we could have done that,
And you
but we
know
didn't.
what? We thought about it and I was like, that's gonna be so much work and money to build that type of platform. Turns out it was anyways.
But I'm just trying to say like we could have tried to capitalize on
Yeah.
on the conversions, but instead
Yeah.
I want you to keep thinking about this as as the idea of for 81 cents a day to I'm going to tell you from a person who built a I've made millions of dollars from my other business now over the last 15 years, straight up from getting in a directory and having my SEO just be incredible. I just want you all to keep. That's literally part of the reasoning of this idea. So it might be a longer term play for you all, but you'll start to, if you track your Google rankings, if you start to track that over the next like 6 months to a year, you'll start to see that you're going to show up for certain words that you would have never shown up for before,
Yeah.
ever on your own, right? Unless
It's a
you have all the money in your,
long-term play.
yeah.
Yep.
So just remember that. If you have to redo your website, still get the listing, get in on the price, get in there, and then you'll do what you do. But the thing is, it's like, let's just keep growing together. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Love you all. We'll see you
Yeah.
soon.
We'll talk to you